Perhaps you may want to elaborate. No, sorry. I just want Dr. Tan to elaborate. When you say working with the government, perhaps that's not so clear to the participants here. How does the President work with the government to solve this?
I think this is where depends on I can only speak for myself. I have very deep knowledge of the world economy. I have very deep knowledge of an extensive context throughout the world. I have significant experience in managing this. As President, the views which I express to the Prime Minister, to the ministers, I believe will be taken very seriously because they know me. They know my track record. They have interacted with me for many years. It will be the government which will have to make the decisions, but the advice, the information, the views which I as President can express to the Prime Minister and the Cabinet, I believe will be taken seriously by them in the course of their making up their decision. And if they require to use part of the reserves, and the President has to use his second key, then with my background and my experience, I believe that I'll have be able to make a better judgment than other people on whether the request of the government to use a second key to unlock part of our reserves would be justifiable or not, as President Nathan agreed to in 2009. And you cannot do that without long experience of working in the economy, long experience and knowledge of international financial markets, which I've been involved in this field for over 30 years. And I believe that I know the markets and the economies possibly as well as anyone in government.
No, I don't agree with Tony when he talks about leadership. I strongly believe in our leadership. So if you say that the leadership, the political leadership in those countries wasn't up to that standard, that's why the country failed, that I think we all know. But our leadership, I still believe is very good. I still believe that Tharman and Prime Minister can take us through this crisis. What I want to say is, what is my role as a president in this crisis? I don't think I want to manage the economy. Tony gave me the impression that he wants to manage the economy.
No, please.
No, you want to manage it with
I did not say that.
No, but the impression I'm given. I don't think I'm putting words in your mouth. I think the audience here will be quite clear. You are positioning yourself that because I work so closely with the government, I'm able to work with the cabinet. I think, to me, I'm worried about that. Because where is your independence here? This is the most critical time in a crisis, that the president must be independent, that no one should dip into the reserves without giving me good reasons. I'm not going to be biased. I can be biased if, let's say, I'm in Tony's position. I don't know whether I can really make the right decision or not.
Do you want to clarify, Dr. Tan, before we move on to...
I did not say that I want to manage the economy. That is the job of government. What I did say is that I think the President, in the course of his duties, has regular meetings with the Prime Minister. He has access to the Minister. The President has access to all Cabinet papers. He is completely informed, as President Nathan says, about what goes on in government. The President is free and actually has a responsibility to give his views to the government, to the Prime Minister, as to how he sees the situation. What I said was that I think that with my background and knowledge, I will be able to give views which I believe the Prime Minister will consider. It is up to the Prime Minister to make the decision. I am not making the decisions with regard as to whether the request from the government to use part of the reserves is justifiable or not. I think that in my case, with my knowledge of the world economy, I will be able to exercise my mind independently, have my own assessment as to whether the request is justifiable or not, and to decide whether this request should be entertained or not. And I think that is quite different from saying that I want to manage the economy, because quite clearly it is a government that has to manage the economy and take executive decisions, debated in Parliament. That is not the job of the President.
Now, can I have my say on this important economic issue?
1 minute to
okay, but I think the other people have more than 1 minute, so I ask for 2. First, I want to acknowledge the point made by Tony that he considered the cost of living for the people to be important, which I want to acknowledge that. Now, on the global economy, the challenges ahead, I want to say that we are quite different from America, from Europe, in that we have in Singapore quite a prudent fiscal policy with large reserves. Of course, the global economy is a challenge that will affect us. We have gone through a number of these challenges. In fact, 2008 was a big shock because it was not expected. This time round, the challenges ahead, many people are anticipating. Now, of course, if the economy becomes very bad and many people are unemployed, we need more than just a steady hand. We need a kind heart. So I want to ask that the use of the reserves should be not only to help businesses, but more directly to help the people who are affected. Of course, this would be... Now, I also want to talk about the role of the President in helping the Prime Minister to chart the correct course. Now, I think that the President should be one that is open to inputs from other people. No one single person is so experienced and smart to find the answer. Now, I have a financial background, I have an investment background. I would prefer to hear the views of a larger number of people before I decide. I would want to hear the views of the government before I decide on how to use the past reserves. And I will want to give my input, and my input is we do need, in addition to a steady hand, a kind heart.
Okay. No, I need to pick up on our earlier...
I haven't spoken on the economy yet. Since the three have spoken.
You've spoken quite a bit on the economy.
But not on the economy.
Okay.
I agree with Dr. Tony Tan that the economy is moving into uncharted waters. Yes, dark clouds are before us, and we don't know how the economy will pan out. We need people who are on top of the economy. Obviously, Dr. Tony Tan has worked in GIC. He was my Minister of Trade and Industry when I was a young officer there. Yeah, he has the experience to know what is going on and all that. Having said that, and obviously Mr. Tan Kin Lian also said, and I agree, he has got a financial investment background. As for myself, I'm equal to the task. I studied economics at university, and when I worked in the Ministry of Trade and Industry and headed economic and manpower planning for 6 years, in the ministry for 6 years. And I later worked in banks, investment houses as a fund manager. So I have an understanding of economics and understanding of global finance. This knowledge, this enables me to stay on top of the economy. And it will come useful at this particular juncture of Singapore's economy and society, because society is deeply divided over economic issues, over the direction of the economy. And that economic issue, that is where the President can work with the Prime Minister, work with the government to develop a new economic consensus. Because the current economic policy is just one way, high GDP growth. You want growth, you just increase the number of foreign workers. That's how mathematicians work. They see GDP as digits. If you cannot increase productivity, you increase the number of workers. That's why you get 10% growth. I will not take a mathematical approach to economic growth in developing an economic consensus with the government of the day. Not because I did not study mathematics, but I think economic development has a moral and ethical dimension where leaders, government of the day, must have a heart for the people. to develop. What is economic development all about? It is not about high GDP growth. It is not about CEOs earning $4 or $5 million. It is about developing and growing the people, the young people, making life more comfortable and giving hope to them. The current economic strategy does not give hope to the young people who are struggling, to the uneducated, the lowly educated, who are being replaced and by foreign workers and have their earnings depressed. I will work with this government to develop a new economic consensus that takes care of the welfare of the people.